still hiding your confidence because your outfit isn't doing the talking? My name is Wuraola Ubaka. I am called your profitable fashion coach because if your business isn't making money, why are you even in business? At Wura, we don't just make clothes. We create statements. Our timeless ready-to-wear pieces are created for the woman who walks in grace, owns her space, and turns heads effortlessly. And if you are a fashionpreneur struggling to turn your talent into real income, especially if you are stuck in bespoke and want to transition to ready-to-wear, the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy is your next step. We teach fashion creatives how to structure, scale, and sell profitably. From the woman who wears it to the woman who makes it. Confidence and profits go hand in hand. Wura dresses you. The PFA builds you. So come, join the movement. Wear confidence and build profits with Wura and the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy. Welcome to another Fashionpreneur Friday Live Forum. Here I am, your one and only profitable fashion coach. Today we are talking about why good fashionpreneurs still struggle and how to break the cycle in 2026. My name is Wuraola Ubaka and I am called your profitable fashion coach because I'm the only one who is qualified to lead you to fashion business profits. And if you are not here, you are wrong. So today we are going to be talking about how you can break the cycle of struggle. Because guess what? Goodness is not enough. I'm good. I'm the baddest ass fashion designer. That doesn't translate into money in the bank account. If you are a badass fashion designer like me, who struggled through, being badass for 10 years without profit, you will know that goodness is not enough in the fashion industry. It is not enough for profitability. You need more. And we are going to be exploring why you still struggle and how you can break that cycle in 2026. My name is Wuraola Ubaka, and I am a fashion founder. I'm the founder of Wura. On Instagram, our handle is wura.ng, a Nigerian ready-to-wear fashion brand that makes classy dresses that fit just right for confident women. But guess what? I wasn't always a ready-to-wear brand owner. I first started out in 2010 as a bespoke brand label owner, collecting fabric, sewing for customers. We know the way these things go. But through that journey, I realized that business model was not for me. Not because it wasn't necessarily profitable, but then I had to define what profit meant to me. Because if profit meant my time, if profit meant my life, if profit meant my time with my husband, my kids, it was just too much for me. If profit meant burnout, if profit meant constantly on a hamster wheel, that was just too much for me. And that was one of the things that I struggled through, as a fashion entrepreneur. But guess what? You don't have to be that person. Excuse me. You don't have to be that person. So tonight is not just about encouragement. It's about exposure. It's about diagnosis. It's about deliverance. And for some of you, this is going to be the most important business conversation that you actually ever have. Because many of you are not struggling due to laziness. You are struggling because goodness is not the same as mastery. You can be good at something, but you haven't mastered the way that thing should go. Talent is not the same as structure. You can be talented at something, and because you have not built the right structure, you will still struggle through it. And creativity is not the same as capacity. So you can be creative. You can know how to do all the things that you think you need to do, but that will not still translate into money in your bank account. And so that is why this evening we're actually going to be exploring this topic, through a bird's eye view. So let's start. If you're here and you're on this stream, feel free to drop a comment. Feel free to drop our emojis. Our signature emojis here are the scissors emojis. And I like to know that you can see me and you can hear me. And of course, if you hear something that makes you scream, I want to see you put your aha in the comment section. And I want to see you and know that we are here together. Remember, this is Fashionpreneur Friday Forum. You get a chance to ask your questions. You get a chance to actually interact. Whether you're streaming on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, you get a chance to interact. So God blesses order. He blesses order, not chaos. Even if the chaos belongs to a good person, God will still not bless it. Our God is a God of order. I say this all the time to people in the PFA Ready to Wear bootcamp. I say, when we look at the story of creation, when we look at the way God created the heaven and earth and every other thing he did, you will see that he was a God of order. So you need to let that sink in. You need to actually let that sit with you. So tonight, I know I'm not speaking to lazy people. I know I'm speaking to good fashionpreneurs, people who are skilled, people who work hard, people who are prayerful, dedicated, but still feel broke, still feel stagnant, still feel like they are not, where they should be. So, how do we go from here? Let's start with Proverbs. Yes, you will hear a lot of biblical references because the Bible is the foundation of everything I do as a person and of everything I do as a business owner, because it gives me insights into the things that I do. So Proverbs 24, 3-4 says that by wisdom, a house is built. By understanding, it is established. And by knowledge, it is filled with precious and pleasant riches. This is not a sewing verse. Is it a sewing verse? It's not a sewing verse now. It's a Bible verse. It's a wealth building verse. It's a structure verse. Goodness alone does not build. Goodness alone doesn't build. It is wisdom that builds. It is structure that builds. It is understanding that establishes. And it is knowledge that fills. So look at this, look at how that scripture goes. That by wisdom a house is built. By understanding it is established. And by knowledge it is filled with good and wonderful treasures. That's what some Bible verses say, and some Bible translations, while others will say that its rooms are filled with precious and pleasant riches. So if you understand this, you will know that there are some reasons why good fashionpreneurs struggle. So let's get into these reasons. What are these reasons? Let's start with number one. You know I like numbering. And when you hear my reasons, please drop it in the comments so that whoever is coming on the stream later can see these reasons. So reason number one, there's an emotional intelligence gap. The emotional intelligence gap. I call it the emotional intelligence gap. That's the first reason why good fashionpreneurs struggle. So good fashionpreneurs often struggle because they are reactive. So you come into your store, somebody came late, or something, a dress that was for a customer that is supposed to have gone out, do you know what? Why is this dress not out? What is happening? Why is it still here? Why are you? Hey, you're always in panic. You're always in reaction mode. There's always something to scream about. And so because you are always in reactive mode, you're always easily triggered, and you're very attached to your work. You say, this thing, nobody can do it like me. Oh, if it's not me, if it's not me, nobody can do it like me. Nobody can do it like me. If it's not me that is doing this thing, they can't do it like me. So because you're constantly in that mode where You are emotional about everything you do. You are not able to actually sit back and separate yourself, separate your person from your business. You're not able to do that. And because you're not able to do that, it's not giving you, the effects that it should give you. So you take feedback as an attack, or you take delay as a rejection, or you take correction as insult. So someone is buying something from you and they say, oh, this dress I bought did not fit me well. Instead of you to listen and say, okay, can you send a picture so that we can see what happened? Can you send in your measurements again? Instead of you to actually have a process by which you hear this feedback and process it, you immediately enter defense mode. No, all the things we make, we always check them like this, like this. We always do like this, like this. It's not, we check these things. I'm sure it's the measurement you sent in. I'm sure it's this. So you're always, you don't like feedback. Once anybody is giving you feedback, you feel like they are personally attacking you. You feel like they are personally attacking you. And that's part of the emotional intelligence gap that you are lacking. Because guess what? I was telling someone this just this morning. I said, if you are a business owner, you must be ready for feedback. And you must be ready to take that feedback with humility. And you must be ready to take that feedback as someone who knows that the person giving you feedback is actually trying to grow your business. Because guess what? Nobody owes you feedback. You can do someone wrong and they'll just keep quiet and move on. The person who gives you feedback actually cares about your business. They actually want you to grow. They actually want you to know. Maybe there are things in your system that your sales rep even did that you don't even know. So the person giving you feedback is trying to help you. But instead of you to see it as that, helping, you see it as critiquing. You see it as a problem. You see it as someone, this person just always attacks me. I said, if you don't want feedback, sit down in your house, don't open a business. You have no business selling anything, even if it's a crayfish, if you know that you can't take feedback. Because one day the crayfish will have sand, and your customer will come back and say, madam, this crayfish I bought from you had sand. It's not for you to start saying, no, it did not have sand. Did you cook the pot of soup with her? You will say, oh, I didn't know it had sand. Okay, do you still have it? You can bring it back and I will give you another model of crayfish. Oh, this dress I bought from you, the button fell off at the first time. Oh, thank you so much for that feedback. We'll ensure we reinforce our buttons in the future. In the meantime, I can give you 5% off your next order to compensate you for the inconvenience, and you could give it to someone near you to fix. But instead of that, you say, no, maybe it's the way you word the thing. Maybe they were dragging the button. We fix our buttons well. So a lot of the time, many fashionpreneurs struggle because of that emotional intelligence gap. So, well, there's a Harvard research study that shows that 90% of business failure among high-skilled solopreneurs come from emotional mismanagement, not a skill deficiency, but because you don't have the emotions required to lead a business. So, if your emotions still lead you, your business cannot follow you. The people in your business cannot follow you. So you must sort your emotions problem if you actually want to build a sustainable business that will carry you through 2026 and beyond. All right, let's move to number 2. What is the second thing? What is the second reason why good fashionpreneurs still struggle? What is the second reason why good fashionpreneurs still struggle? I call it the consistency black hole. Write it down. The consistency black hole. So, what is the consistency black hole? You show up when it's convenient. You think that business is something you do when it is convenient. If it's convenient, you do business. If it's not convenient, you don't do it. If you're tired, you leave it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you leave it. When you leave it. The consistency black hole. So consistency is one of the reasons why you are struggling. So you cannot be showing up in bursts. You cannot market only when you're desperate, or your visibility is only seasonal. Maybe Christmas now you will show up. January to November, nobody will see you. Maybe April you will show up. You show up seasonally. So you are falling into the black hole of inconsistency. Science proves that the brain trusts patterns more than talents. The human brain trusts patterns more than talents, and your customers are built in the same way. Now, anybody who is in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp, or who has attended any of our programs, whether it's our product pricing masterclass — by the way, we have a product pricing masterclass coming up soon, so you want to join that if you haven't attended any. And even if you have, you still want to join it, because we are teaching you certain sui generis things for Christmas. This product pricing masterclass was actually, done to help us position our sales, to make sure that we are collecting the money we need to collect this December. All right. So neuroscience has proven that people trust patterns, not talents. When you are able to show up consistently all the time, people are able to trust you more. People are able to depend on you more. And people buy from people. They don't buy from businesses. They buy from people. So, like I say people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. So, for you to be able to have a fashion business in 2026 that is winning, you need to build your knowability, likability, and trustability quotient. You need to be able to build your knowability, likability, and trustability quotient. You don't actually build that, then you are going to be leaving money on the table. You're going to be leaving money on the table. So you must build your knowability, likability, and trustability quotient. Please give me a moment. All right. Now, when we look at, the Bible, the story of when the Israelites left Egypt, and then they were passing through the wilderness, and they said, "Oh, we are hungry," and everything. And then God said, "Okay, we will give you manna." So every day there'll be manna, and on Saturdays you will take manna enough for Sunday. And see what the Bible recorded. It said that don't take more than you need for a day. Take the manna every day. So every day, go back and get new manna. Don't take manna today, pack it for 1 year. No, go back every day and get new manna. And for people who carried manna that were more than a day's manna, what happened? Worms actually came into that manna. Because you see, when you read your Bible, you have to read it with insight. There's a reason why that consistency was important. Because you see, God was teaching the Israelites how to follow him. And our God is a consistent God. You cannot follow God without consistency. So he had to tell them, every day you will go back and get new manna. Tomorrow you will wake up again and fetch the manna. Next tomorrow, he could have said, "Oh, just pack the manna, all you need for 1 week, 1 month." He could have done that. But you had to go and get manna every day, apart from Saturdays, when you took manna that you needed for Saturday and Sunday, because Sunday was the Sabbath. And it's the same principle. Consistency is not about comfort. It's about showing up every day, doing the same thing. And that's why in the Ready to Wear Bootcamp, consistency is one of the frameworks that we use. Whether you're not consistent, when you enter bootcamp, you will be consistent or we'll kick you out. We don't play there. Because I know that as a fashion entrepreneur, if you do not build the skill of consistency, your brand can go nowhere. People need to know, especially when you're in the ready to wear space, that when they call you and say, Wura, can you deliver this dress by 2? I will say, we day. And that's why at Wura, we run 24-hour shifts. So anytime you need a dress, we are there. That's our work. We are there to serve you. We are there to give you clothes. So if you are not consistent and your customer cannot rely on you, you know when they say that the heart of the king safely sleeps, your customer's heart needs to safely sleep in the fact that you are available to offer them that product every time they need it. Every time they need it. That's the kind of consistency that you need to be able to build. So your inconsistency is louder than your excellence. And that's one of the reasons why you're struggling. It's not that you're not good. You're very good. You are the baddest ass fashion designer. But you're so inconsistent that nobody can trust you. So, yes, you're good. When you eventually send my dress, it will be good. But at what price? How long do I have to wait before that dress gets to me? Do I have that time? Do I have that time? This is ready to wear. People go to buy from ready to wear brands because they don't have time. They are paying the money to buy their time back. Do you know how many customers come to work and say, oh, we're traveling tomorrow. Do you have the Ashoke bands? Do you have this? Do you have that? Okay, just package it. I'll send my driver. Or please send the rider. Do you have a rider? It's always fire brigade. And that's why you're ready to wear brand. That is your unique selling point. So if you're not now showing up every day, they don't remember you. You're not staying in their memory. Some days you show up, some days you don't. Oh well. Lucky if you sell, lucky if you don't. So your inconsistency is louder than your excellence. And that is one of the reasons why you are struggling if you're good, but you see that you're still struggling. So unpredictable effort creates unpredictable results. Unpredictable efforts create unpredictable results. And so you need to be predictable. You need to be predictable. And that's one of the reasons why you might be struggling. All right, let's move to number 3. Number 3 is the discipline plus focus deficit. The discipline plus focus deficit. The discipline plus focus deficit. All right. So, good fashionpreneurs are hardworking. Una dey work. Una work pieces. Una work scatter. Una dey scatter the place you work. But you are very scattered. You are hardworking, but scattered. Overproductive, but underproductive at the same time. I call it busy doing nothing. When I see you, I've been so busy, God. My day, so busy. When I ask you, what did you achieve today? You cannot pinpoint. You can't point to one thing that you achieved. So you are busy, but you're doing nothing. You are constantly busy doing nothing. So you start everything and you finish nothing. You go to the market, you see the beautiful fabric, you say, oh, this fabric is so nice. I'm going to use it for that trouser set. Oh, you go to the shop, maybe you buy pattern paper, do this. By tomorrow, you've forgotten it. Then you go to the market again, you buy another one. By tomorrow, you've forgotten again. And that cycle just keeps going. So one of the reasons why you are struggling is because you are not disciplined in the things that you do. Because you are confusing activity with progress. You're always in activity mode. Do you know that studies have shown that multitasking actually reduces your output quality by 40%? And as someone in an industry that is already so chaotic, you need to be able to have a stillness. So you want to be taking customer order, doing this one, doing this. Why don't you just outline your day and say, for the first hour, I'm doing this. For the next hour, I'm doing this. For the third hour, I'm doing this. If you keep confusing activity with progress, you will not actually have any results. So a chaos and scattered mind means stagnation. That's what it means. When Paul said that this one thing I do, if we look at Philippians 3:13, he said, this one thing I do, I focus on the mark of the prize in Christ Jesus. He did not say this many things I try. He said this one thing I do. This one thing I do. You need to learn to do one thing at a time. Because clarity, oh God, clarity is so spiritual. And guess what? Clarity is one of the first things you will get when you come into the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. Clarity. You will leave the bootcamp with a level of clarity that you have never had before. Because if you don't have clarity, you cannot move. You can't move. You'll be moving and you don't know where you're going. Clarity is so important. So, you need to be able to focus on one thing at a time. Remember, I said number 3 is the discipline plus focus deficit. You are deficient in focus and discipline. You don't have enough focus and discipline. That is why you're good, you're an excellent fashionpreneur, but you still feel stagnant, you still feel like you are struggling. So, some of you are doing too much to become much. You are doing too much because you think that when you do too much, you become much. I was talking to my team at Wura, and I was saying, you know what, this Christmas, we're pulling it back. We're pulling back the curtains and we're going back to the beginning. So you guys need to be watching. You need to watch out for our Christmas campaign this year. It's going to actually be super amazing. I can't wait to actually launch it. But yes, we pulled it back because we needed to go back. We needed to focus on our one thing. And sometimes that's really all you need, your one thing. But if you try to do so many things, you get lost. You get drowned in the noise. So you need to constantly have that time where you sit and you reflect and you give yourself a time to have a compass. You're like, where am I now? Where am I going to? How is where I am now panning out with where I want to be? So the third reason why you are struggling is that you are deficient in discipline. Now, the fourth reason why you're struggling. The fourth reason why you're struggling is the structure void. The structure void. The structure void. So how does this work? You're running your business from your head. Everything you want to know in this life is in your head. So this week in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp, we've been talking about the subject of SOPs. And I've been teaching the fashion entrepreneurs that I mentor in there that your business cannot be in your head. Because now only you get your head. We cannot see inside it now. Your team cannot see your head. They can't see what is inside your head. So if your business is in your head, then of course, we know they see you. We can't see you. That's the problem. And that is why, you are struggling. So you're running your business from your head. There's no documentation. You don't have any repeatable process. You don't have any structure for production or for procurement or for marketing or for sales. Everything is in your head, Madam CEO. Calm down from there. Because you somehow have told yourself that excellence is a personal virtue. Nobody can be excellent like you. So you have refused to build an operational system. Or maybe you even know that you need to build an operational system, but you don't know how. You don't know how the hell you're going to go about it. And so you're just turning in the cycle and you have no structure. Businesses don't grow by what is in your head. They grow by clear processes that are replicable. They grow by repetition. That is how they grow. So if you're not able to build a way of repeatability in your business, if you're not able to systemize that repeatability, you cannot grow. I taught this to people I mentor in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp just yesterday, because last week in the academy we dealt with SOP week. And I can see some people on the stream who are from our former the former cohorts on our bootcamp. Scientifically, a business grows 3 to 5 times faster when it is on paper than when it is in memory. And that is why, as a business owner, the first thing you want to do is to have a comprehensive handbook of your operations, how things run in your business from point A to point Z. You want to be able to have that. And that system is part of the things that we teach you when you come into the bootcamp. That's part of the things that we teach you when you come into the bootcamp. You see, over the course of last week, when I was teaching Fashionpreneurs SOP, I said, when God was giving Moses instructions of the tabernacle, you need to go and read that Bible verse. It's in Exodus. He gave him detailed instructions. Very detailed instructions. He left nothing to chance. Whether it was the type of wood, the type of vestments, the type of doors, the type of windows, what should be on the altar, what should be on the table, the house, the pillars, everything. It is incredible the amount of detail God used to teach Moses how to prepare and build the tabernacle of the Lord. When God was giving Noah instructions for the ark, God did not come down to build the ark, did he? No, now he did not. He gave Noah instructions for the ark, and he told Noah that you will use acacia wood. Each wood of this, we have this type of width. It will have this length. It will have these dimensions. The bottom will be like this. He gave him exact dimensions. He even told, in the case of the tabernacle, after God finished telling Moses how he wanted the tabernacle to be, he went forward to even tell him the skilled craftsman that should build it. So it's not even just that he had structure. He even had an assignment of roles within that system, so that each person knew what they were supposed to do and knew exactly how to go about it. That is how you build repeatability. That's how you build it. So part of the reason why your goodness is not taking you far as a fashion entrepreneur is because you lack structure. You lack structure. God cannot multiply what you have refused to structure, unfortunately. He can't. So if you like, you'll be praying and fasting every day. You wake up, NSPPD, 10. And it's, I love NSPPD, I love praying, I love fasting, but you have to do the work. And that's why the Bible tells us to have faith like a mustard seed, but then goes forward to say that faith without works is dead. So when you have that faith that can move mountains, but then you don't back it up with doings, it's dead. Your faith must show doings. It must show doings. All right. So let's move. Let's move. What is number 5? I call number 5 the business literacy gap. The business literacy gap. Remember, we are talking about why good fashionpreneurs still struggle and what you can do about it. The business literacy gap. So you are a perfect machinist. You know how to stitch like your life depends on it, because it actually does. You also know how to pattern like your life depends on it. It also does. You also know how to design. You can sketch up a storm. You do excellent. You are an excellent craftsman. But guess what? Craftsmanship is different from business. So you have craftsmanship, but you have not learned business literacy. You know sewing, but you don't know business. You know your crafts, but you don't know your commerce. You can produce, but you cannot scale. You can design, you cannot price. You can sew, but you cannot sell. And that's why sometimes you sew, you're like, I have people that come to work for me because it's not that they can't sew, but they're just like, let me just be working where someone will be paying me money, because they can't sell. Because you assume that sewing skills equals business success. And that's a lie from the pit of hell. As a matter of fact, that's why the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy was founded. That's the entirety of our vision. Because me, I was working in that shoe that I thought that my skill was profitability. The moment I just know how to sew, I can sew well, I will just make money. So I focused on sewing, learning my craft. And it is 100% good to master your craft. In fact, before you come into the bootcamp, one thing I say is that you must have mastery. Because if you don't have mastery of your craft, there are many principles that will teach you in the bootcamp that will fall over your ears because you can't even understand what I'm saying, so that you're not able to create the systems. Because if you don't have mastery of your craft, how do you want to create systems around it? Right? So now you have the skill. Congratulations. Good job. What next? This was the question I had to sit down to ask myself. Yes, you can sew now, but how does that translate into money in your bank account? You must now know how to deploy those skills sensibly in a way that gives you profits. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that's MIT, has a research that suggests that entrepreneurs fail not from lack of talent, but from lack of commercial literacy. And that is why you need to put yourself in systems that help you build your commercial literacy. These things have to be sought. And no, you're not going to get it just working on Instagram, attending one free live class after the other. You need to put yourself in a system. Because guess what? You are assuming that if you have skills, you'll be successful. When we look at the parable of the talents, and that's one parable I use all the time, you will see that that parable is about stewardship. It's about using what you have and multiplying it. So yes, all of them had talents. So it's a parable of the talents now. They were all given talents according to their ability. Each one of them all had talents. Now the first one, he multiplied it, doubled it. Second one, multiplied it, doubled it. The third one say, this is my talent. Let me not just do this my talent anyhow. Let it now come and go. I will bury it. I will bury this talent. Then when the master comes, I will give him back. So God has blessed us all with our own talents according to our ability. But if you are not able to multiply that talent, he is calling you a wicked and lazy servant. That's what the master called that man. He's calling you a wicked and lazy servant. So the parable of these talents is not about sowing. It's about multiplication. It's about strategic thinking. How can you create more? Yes, where you are is okay, but there is more. How can you be more? Talent creates product, but it is wisdom that creates profits. So if you don't have the wisdom to be able to translate those your products to profits, you're just going to be sitting down in stagnation, constantly creating and saying people are not buying. You know, they say the economy is too bad. Nobody is buying everything. But inside this fashion business, people are cleaning out every day. But when it comes to your turn, you change language because you have refused to arm yourself with the knowledge that you need to be able to shift. You don't have a sewing problem. You have a business vision problem. And you see this business vision problem, that's exactly the problem that we solve in the bootcamp. If you can submit yourself to the process, if you can follow through, you cannot come out after 90 days as the same person. You will be transfigured, and that's the truth. All right, let's move to number 6. What is the 6th reason why you are good, but you are not making money? I call it the leadership gap. The leadership gap. And what does that mean? You want staff. I have a lot of people who come in and say, most times when we come into the bootcamp, a lot of people start asking about hiring. I want to hire. I want to get a tailor. I don't know what to do. I want to get a tailor. I don't know what to do. And in the bootcamp, deliberately, the way the bootcamp is structured is that we teach you hiring last. Because if we don't teach you everything that you should become before you hire, you will hire and multiply your chaos. So we don't teach you. You have no business hiring anybody if you've not mastered your business. You have no business. So you want staff, but you have not defined roles. You don't even know how to define the roles for the staff. You don't know how to onboard the staff. You don't know how to delegate. You don't know how to evaluate. You don't know how to lead, but you just want staff. So you want people to come and help you before you build a structure. It's like hiring a nanny in your house. So you hire the nanny comes to your house. You don't teach her anything. You just say, oh, clean this room. Of course, they are going to do it according to the limit of their ability. But when you hire that nanny and nanny comes to you and you say, in this house, this is how we clean the room. This is how we arrange the wardrobe. This is how we arrange the shoe rack. This is how you should cook. This is how you should do. The person is coming into a system that you have built. So the person has no other option but to align, because where do they want to learn not aligning from now? Where are they learning it from? So your helpers will only multiply what already exists. They are not going to reinvent the wheel. They are not going to recreate. They are going to multiply your chaos if it is chaotic. And they are going to multiply your structure if it is structured. And so before you bring in any helper, you want to become the leader that your business needs. That's what you want to become. And that is what we help you become in the PFRA to Wear Bootcamp. We help you become the leader that your business needs. So, if God gave Adam work, God didn't just create Eve and say, oh, be the helpmeet. No. God gave Adam work. He told him, name the animals, name plants, do this, do that. Adam had done everything, created the structure. Then when Adam had finished doing the work, God now said, hey, now that you have done this work, I think I will make you a helpmeet. Because he could not give Adam help before Adam learned how to lead. Adam needed to know how to lead to be able to lead the helpmeet that he was going to be giving. So God gave Adam work, gave him order, and gave him instruction before he gave him help. The help came last, never first. So in your business, if you are trying to get help, you just started your business, you just opened your shop, Pakam, you want to start hiring. Hello, come down from that table. Come down if you're there. You need to actually get your systems and structures running like a well-oiled machine, so that by the time you're getting in help, the help is actually knowing what they are coming in to do. So you cannot outsource your confusion. You will just multiply it. Leadership is not the ability to hire. It is the ability to guide. It is the ability to guide. It's not the ability to hire. So let's look at the 7th reason why good fashion entrepreneurs still struggle. Number 7, the mental clutter. Your mind is like a prison. The mental clutter. Your brain is always on overdrive because everything is in your head. Your business is trapped in your head, every single thing. You don't write anything down. You don't write. You don't journal. You don't take time out to reflect as a business owner on what you are doing, where you are going, how you did last week, what can you do better this week, what do you need to pivot. You don't take time out to reflect. It was Femi Otedola's book that I was reading that said how, when he first started his business, he used to take out maybe 3 hours every day to reflect. And now he is able to dedicate at least 1 week a month to reflect, because reflection is so important. That stillness helps you clear your brain. So I said the mental clutter. Let me put that in there. It helps you clear your brain. There's a reason why the Bible in Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision that he that sees it may run. And this is one of our anchor scriptures in the PFRA to Wear Bootcamp. When you come in on week 1, we talk about your vision, because we don't want you to be coming with a scattered mindset, a scattered brain, a brain that we want to first work on your mindset, work on your thoughts, work on the clutter before we start anything else. That's the foundation. So one of the reasons why you struggle is because there's so much mental clutter. Your brain is just full. Your head full. And I know I've been there. Your head go just full. So you need to now start thinking of how to write things down, because writing forces clarity. And you know what? A lot of people fear clarity because, yes, when you have clarity, it exposes your gaps. It exposes your gaps. So your business is struggling because you are holding it hostage in your head. You need to release it. You need to release it. A vision that is not written is a vision that cannot move. A vision that is not written is a vision that cannot move. So I have gone through seven distinct reasons why good fashionpreneurs struggle. And I'm going to run through it again. I said the emotional intelligence gap. You're not in control of your emotions. You're always in reactive mode. You don't want anybody to talk to you. You don't want anybody to give you feedback. You don't want anybody to tell you anything. You just want everybody to take what you say or do, hook, line, and sinker. Number two, the consistency black hole. You are constantly, constantly inconsistent. If there's anything you are consistent about, it is your inconsistency. You are consistent about your inconsistency. And that is one of the reasons why you are a good fashion entrepreneur, but you are still struggling. Give me a moment. All right. So that's one of the reasons why you're a good fashion entrepreneur, but you're still struggling. You are consistently inconsistent. The third reason why we have explored you're a good fashionpreneur and you're struggling is the discipline plus focus gap. So you are hardworking, but you are scattered. You're constantly busy, but you're busy doing nothing. Your business is not producing results. That is one of the reasons why you are struggling. And then we have explored the fourth reason, the structure void. You are running everything from your head. Nothing is written down. You have no repeatable process. There's no process by which you do things in your fashion business. So you don't have anything that anybody can pick up and run. And then we've explored number 5, your business literacy gap. There's a gap because sewing is not business. Craft is not commerce. If you can produce but you cannot scale, if you can sew but you cannot sell, if you can design but you cannot price, you are setting yourself up for failure. And that is one of the reasons why good fashionpreneurs are still struggling, because you assume that skill equals success. And number 6, the leadership gap. You want staff. You just open the shop. You just want to hire people. But guess what? You don't have clearly defined roles. You don't even know the roles. You haven't walked in those shoes of all those people you want to hire. But you want to hire them to come and fix your problems. And I've told you that you cannot bring help before you build structure. If not, God will not have told Adam to walk, to give, he wouldn't have given Adam order and instruction before he gave him a help. He would have just created Adam, then immediately created Eve. But no, he created Adam and allowed Adam walk, do all the work, put all the structure, name everybody, name the animals, name the plants, do everything. And then at the end, now say, I will now bring you help. So if you're not the CEO that your business needs, you have no business hiring anybody. And that's why I said hiring is one of the last things we teach in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. Now, number 7, I've said you have a mental clutter prison. Your brain wants to burst. You are always like your brain full. Everything is inside your head. Everything is full. You don't take time to actually sit back and reflect. You don't have those quiet times where you're listening to the patterns in your business, seeing where you are growing, seeing your areas where you need to actually improve, seeing areas where you need to actually change the way you do things, change your pattern. And that's one of the reasons why you may be struggling. So, of course, being good is beautiful, but goodness without structure is going to break you. If you're good and you're not structured, you will break. God doesn't bless randomness, so no, he blesses order. It is order he multiplies. We have looked at, the different levels of that through this life. It is your order that he will multiply. He does not bless intention, he blesses instructions. So if you are not giving instructions, whether it's to your staff, whether it's to yourself, you're giving God nothing to bless. So it's not just to be praying and fasting. You need to do the work. You need to do the work. So if you want 2026 in your fashion business to look different, then you must become different. You must become the CEO that your business needs. And this is what I tell people in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp all the time. That if you are not the CEO your business needs, you're going to continue multiplying chaos. So inside the Ready to Wear Bootcamp, we give you systems, structures. Every skill set I have mentioned in this live is something that we have created a system within which we teach you, whether it's discipline, focus, consistency, whether it is being able to systemize, write things down, be mindful. We have a structured system that builds this skill into you. So by the time you are coming out of the 90 days, it's like you're transfigured, because you now have the clarity to run your business in a way that is sustainable, that is profitable. So we have explored the fact that business literacy is one of the big reasons why you suffer. And if you know that you're sitting comfortably on that table of business illiteracy, this is your time. This is that message you want to take and you want to run with, because maybe it was just for such a time as this that you are on this live today. So inside the Ready to Wear Bootcamp, good fashion entrepreneurs become grounded. We teach you how to become, not just to build. You first become so that you can now build from who you have become. And there's no program like this. None. Take it to the bank. Once you come into the bootcamp, you will know what we are talking about. There's none like this. And that is why you need to get into the bootcamp. But besides the bootcamp, we have our signature program, the Product Pricing Masterclass, coming up soon. It comes up actually on the 2nd and 3rd of December. And I didn't actually want to run a masterclass this year again, because we had one in summer. But I realized that a lot of people struggle with pricing during Christmas, because there's a lot of noise. Everybody is doing sale. And before you know it, instead of pricing your way to profit, you have priced your way to debt. And so I said, you know what? Let us do this pricing class to help people have clarity on pricing before they start putting that Christmas discount. So that's why this class is coming to you on the 2nd of December. So you want to send messages to register for that class, before the 2nd of December, which is, I think, 10 days from now or something like that. So through the course of this evening, we have studied why good fashionpreneurs struggle. And I have given you few things that you can do to stop that struggle. Of course, if everything I've said to you today sounds like you know that person that I'm calling is you that I'm calling. You should really run, not walk, into the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. The next cohort of the bootcamp starts on the 1st of February 2026. And once we start it, we close the door. We are currently running one cohort of the bootcamp, which started on the 1st of November, and the testimonies abound. But once we start the bootcamp on the 1st of February, the doors are closed until the next cohort starts. So you can book a slot with 20,000 naira and spread the balance up until the bootcamp begins. And of course, if you are thinking of how do I reach out, what number should I call, the number is actually displayed on the screen. It's scrolling through the screen now. Or you can send a WhatsApp message to the number that will be dropping in the comment section now. Remember, if you do not fix your systems, you will be scaling chaos. You'll be creating a chaotic system and you'll be trying to scale it. And that is what may leave you stagnated and leave you in the same place. And then at the end of 2026, we'll be singing the same story. God forbid. Alrighty. So, as always, I am Wuraola Obaka. I am called your one and only profitable fashion coach. I am the founder of the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy, where we teach people how to start, scale, or transition to ready to wear with confidence and clarity. If this is you, then welcome home. And if you know someone who needs this life, feel free to share it with them. All right, let's have a wonderful evening, a wonderful night. And of course, we're going to meet right here on all the same stations where you're streaming: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Same time next week by 7 p.m. on Fridays for another Fashionpreneur Friday Forum. And I look forward to meeting and interfacing with everybody. Have a good night, Profitpreneurs. Have a good night, Fashionpreneurs. And I will see those of you who are here in the Profit Circle, And for the rest, I will see you next week. Have a good night and thank you. Still hiding your confidence because your outfit isn't doing the talking? My name is Wuraola Ubaka. I am called your profitable fashion coach because if your business isn't making money, why are you even in business? At Wura, we don't just make clothes. We create statements. Our timeless ready-to-wear pieces are created for the woman who walks in grace, owns her space, and turns heads effortlessly. And if you are a fashionpreneur struggling to turn your talent into real income, especially if you are stuck in bespoke and want to transition to ready-to-wear, the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy is your next step. We teach fashion creatives how to structure, scale, and sell profitably. From the woman who wears it to the woman who makes it. Confidence and profits go hand in hand. Wura dresses you. The PFA builds you. So come, join the movement. Wear confidence and build profits with Wura and the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy.